This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this StockBox interview.
Well, I'm joined today by Mike Hudson, the CEO of EDX Medical here at the Aquis Exchange event in London. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks. Great. Nice to be here.
And how have you found today then? It's been quite busy, I think, hasn't it?
Busy was the word I was going to say, but great to see so many companies in Britain making and selling things, I would say.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
Well, I think the fact that the room was so full, I think that does give quite a lot of confidence. I wasn't sure how busy it would be. I go to a lot of these events, and recently they've been quite quiet. So maybe this is a sign of sentiment coming back to the market now that the budget's out the way, the elections are out the way. I don't know. But just next door, of course, there's still the social going on. Still quite a lot of people here. You've had a lot of people coming and chatting to you personally today.
Yeah, it's been really busy. I think particularly for companies like us in healthcare, it's obviously a big agenda item, new government, and technology as well. So the whole AI agenda, discovery, new medicines, new tests, ways of getting patients through the process quicker. And that's what we're all about. So very timely.
Well, let's talk about what you're all about then. The elevator pitch. There are lifts here, so if you could do it, your sort of 60-second, if you like, elevator pitch. What are you all about? What's EDX Medical all about?
EDX provides a portfolio of products that are both digitally enabled and diagnostic. So it combines advanced biology with diagnostic and digital technologies. That means the data that doctors need to make better decisions quicker can be delivered to them securely at their point of work, whether they're in a hospital or even at home at the bedside of a patient.
Okay. Could you give some examples of what that is like in real life on the ground?
Real life starts with drug safety. On average, doctors prescribing involves a lot of complex decision making, and they don't always get it right. So very important that if you know the patient's biology, you can avoid some risks early on. Those risks have got costs associated with them, so we should take those out of the system wherever possible. I think everybody would agree with that. The second thing is, by early detection, you gain the maximum amount of time to get a good outcome for patients. So early detection is very important. And then finally, if you are at the doctor's and you know you've got a disease, then you need to get the right medicine first time. You don't want much guesswork at that stage. And so diagnostic tests are really valuable in being able to help doctors get a better picture quicker and get straight onto the right medicines.
Okay, so it's streamlining the process, it's cost saving and getting treatment more swiftly to the patient that requires it.
And that's what personalised medicine is in essence, and we provide the tools that let people deliver personalised medicine.
So let's talk about the tools then. What are the tools? Can you tell us what different tools you offer?
Well, often we have to have samples sent to the laboratory because this industry is growing rapidly and developing quickly, but we still rely on really scientific expertise of individuals, special skills, lots of equipment. But as soon as we've mastered that art, we're able to start translating it and reducing it and simplifying it to a product that perhaps will look at 20 different components, like 20 lateral flow tests integrated into one that can be read by a mobile phone. And those are the products of the future, but the future is literally tomorrow. It's really soon now.
Okay. So what are the sort of things that the team are sort of working on at the moment? Where's the focus?
Well, the big issue for us is the cancer waiting list in the UK and other markets that we're operating in. And that means people who have got cancer who need to get the right medicines first. And nobody really knows the full extent of what information is useful. So we take one position. You have one chance of getting the maximum amount of information for that patient when they discover they've got cancer. So that's a big area for us. And that provides, it's a multiomic approach. So although that sounds like jargon, it just means we look at the DNA, the RNA messages that get sent from that DNA, and then we look at the proteins that eventually get made by those messages. So it's a very integrated, holistic picture on the patient biology.
So in that example, then, you're taking inputs from at the ground level, at the surgery door, at tests that are done, for example, you're taking those inputs, effectively putting them in to your solution, your system, and providing an output solution.
Yeah, so at this stage, we only work with health professionals, and often those are consultant oncologists or doctors in hospitals who are working against the clock, often to save lives or to at least extend life. And yeah, that's the real job that we do at that stage.
Okay. So the business model, and how does that work? What's the sort of the business case? I don't know if you can talk your fee structure or how it works, whatever, but or you're still in the sort of development phase and rolling out. But in terms of the business case, how the company really plans to make money, but of course as well build value for the shareholders.
Yeah. So we've recently stepped into revenue generation, and that's because by offering a portfolio of products, we're able to partner with companies who've already maybe got a product and also a lot of clinical information, because often the technology is accessible, but it takes years to generate enough knowledge of patient experience to be able to get regulatory approval. So we'll partner with companies who have masses of legacy data, literally millions of patient cases, to be able to be confident in their solutions. And those products can be available immediately. And then we develop products beyond that to provide more detailed information on a case-by-case or disease-by-disease area. And those products are in development. I guess our business model, which is simple to say but more difficult to execute sometimes, is those samples have to come into our laboratory from doctors who say, I've got a patient with lots of symptoms, but we're not quite sure what the disease is. Can you have a look and find it, explore that space? When we've done that, we can take that laboratory experience and reduce it almost to a set of reagents, a little kit, a box, a Lego kit, that other laboratories could then replicate what we've learned. And it's by taking that through regulatory approval and then being able to sell it globally that the payback comes for the people like us. Sure. So there's a laboratory assay optimization, refinement, do that really well. And thankfully for people in the UK, patients in the UK, our main laboratories in Oxford and Cambridge are able to deliver that service for them immediately. So they get access first. We're learning during that process, and we're turning that into products. Products that then can be scalable. And ultimately, we will be a business selling boxes in a few years' time. But we've got a service laboratory element for patients in the UK, first of all. Okay,
so that explains it. Yes, you've got your service laboratory that's going on now that is generating revenue and moving down sort of the product route, and as you say, selling really packaged boxes, all in one solution. In terms of just looking at the roadmap, perhaps key inflection points, or thinking about a value curve, where would you sort of say you are on the journey in the company? And also, what does the next, if you can say maybe 6 months, look like? Any key sort of milestones coming up?
Well, we develop our own products. We partner with existing players in the market if they've got lots of clinical data, usually. And we do have a development pipeline. So I think we'll be building that portfolio.
Partnerships,
through partnerships. Up until the end of it, we've got a very important partnership with Thermo Fisher, who are a very big laboratory instrumentation provider, and they help us on the translation piece to products. So that's really important. So foundations and the portfolio are essentially now 80% complete, and we'll be finishing that this year. We have expanded our commercial team recently, so that team are now starting to deliver products and access to products for our clients in the healthcare system, doctors, nurses, hospitals, insurers, corporates, and they will continue to grow that. So you'll see revenues really now starting to grow from that portfolio, which is also expanding.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much for your time. Mike Hudson, the CEO of EDX Medical.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.